Okay. My name is Danny Shader. I'm the founder and CEO of PayNearMe, and with my colleague John Miner, we're going to demonstrate a payment network that I suspect nobody in this room will ever actually use, although we do hope that your college age and teenage family members will use it. PayNearMe is a payment network that's been built explicitly for the 25% of American households who do not have access to a credit or debit card, and the teen market, 95% of whom prefer to pay with cash. In the PayNearMe system, payments are made at a local retail store, such as our launch partner, 7-Eleven, and we have a real-time connection to the point-of-sale terminals in all the 7-Eleven stores in the United States. And those payments then reach merchants or payees in a broad range of industries, ranging from e-commerce to transportation, entertainment, lending, collections, money transfer, pretty much any place a person wants to be able to take cash and get it to a remote destination. By the way, we are live today at Amazon.com, and we're live today at Facebook, and a number of other merchants, and we're bringing up merchants literally every week. So what we want to do today is give you three simulated demonstrations that will give you a sense of what's possible with this network, starting with an application we're going to do for transportation. We're going to show you how we can turn 6,000 7-Eleven stores into ticketing locations for Greyhound bus. Now, I should point out that we have not announced any relationship with Greyhound, but we do have permission from them to use their name and logo in this demonstration. So let's say that I wanted to make a trip using Greyhound. What Greyhound would do is they will distribute these cards, and these are not prepaid cards, they're just tokens. They get distributed any place Greyhound does business, and they'll be on a J-hook at 7-Eleven, and I can pick one of these up and follow 4 steps to get a ticket. Call this number, provide this code, take this card to the register, and get my ticket. So let's simulate what that would be like. I'm going to go home and call Greyhound now, and John will play the role of a Greyhound reservationist. And what a handsome reservationist he is.
Thank you for calling Greyhound. This is John. How can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to book a one-way ticket today from New York to Boston, please.
Great. 1 second while I look up some fare information for you.
Yep.
It looks like there's a bus leaving at 3 o'clock for $18.
That sounds perfect.
Great. Can you please read me the PayNearMe card number off the back of your card?
Yes, it's RTXMK8.
Great. 1 second while we process that transaction for you. All right, great. You're all set for 3 o'clock today. Again, the fare is $18. Please take your $18 and the card up to the store associate.
Great. So now what I'll do is I will hand my money to John, who is now going to play the role of a 7-Eleven store associate. There are 60,000 of these in the United States, and this is the actual screen that you would see at a 7-Eleven terminal if you were one of those associates.
So as a store associate, I have my $18, so I'm going to go ahead and enter in $18 to the point-of-sale register. I'm going to hit the load button. In this case, I would scan the card for this demonstration. After the card is scanned, I'm going to go ahead and hit cash and then enter. And as you'll see, the transaction is processed and it goes out and talks to the PayNearMe network. And
at this point, our network gets the reservation. We look up the reservation request that was bound to that card. We fire a web service at Greyhound. We buy the bus ticket. We reformat it, and we send it back to the register where it gets printed on the register tape.
There's your receipt.
Thank you very much. So if we can bring the camera over here. The top of the receipt shows the $18, and if you look below, here's where the receipt has been reformatted to demonstrate, to create the register receipt. So 6,000 locations overnight become ticketing locations for Greyhound. By the way, you can imagine this obviously works for rail, it works for airlines, and it would work for any form of entertainment ticketing as well.
And as a store associate, this was a very easy process for me. It was just the same process I'm very used to doing every day with a gift card or a cell phone top-up.
We actually just co-opt the gift card load process, but instead of loading value, we turn it into a payment network. So we're going to switch roles now. I'm going to now play the part of an e-commerce consumer. In this case, I'm going to be buying something from a very famous website called Frog, which sells supplies for reptiles. My daughter loves frogs, and so I'm going to get for her a reptile bulb for $4.99. I'm going to buy now, but since I don't have a credit or debit card, I'm going to elect to pay for that with cash with PayNearMe. So I click the buy button, and I'll enter my zip code in Palo Alto, California, and print a slip, and the application generates a PayNearMe slip. When I present this slip and cash at the register, in real time, 7-Eleven communicates with us. We communicate with Frog. We tell them we have 100% guaranteed good funds, no fraud, no chargeback risks. They can ship the goods. It's kind of like the world's longest delayed authorization or the world's shortest layaway. And by the way, importantly for me as a consumer, notice there's no load fee. I didn't pay a load fee. I didn't have to buy a card. I didn't pay a monthly service fee. I didn't pay anything. In other words, unbanked consumers now can conduct commerce for the same price as the rest of us in this room. By the way, this is a real PayNearMe slip from our Amazon application, which you can use today. Okay, so let's say I didn't have access.
To the mobile.
Let's switch back to mobile. Let's say that I did not have access to a computer, or I didn't even have access to a printer. How would we run that transaction? Let's go ahead and have John do that.
So I'm going to take over where Danny left off. I don't have a printer, so I selected the mobile option on Frog. In this case, I'm using my mobile browser, although I didn't have to. I'm going to just submit the transaction with my mobile number. So what this is going to do is submit it to the PayNearMe system, and what's going to happen is I get a text message from PayNearMe telling me to go grab a PayNearMe card and reply back to this text message with this card number. So I'm simply going to hit reply, and I'm going to reply back to this text with this card number that I have here. So I'll submit this card number, which sends a message to the PayNearMe network, and now I'm waiting for a message back from PayNearMe, which will be a text message to bind this card to the transaction so I can pay.
John, is that a stored value card?
It is not. It's just tied to a specific transaction.
Got it. Okay, and what would happen if you didn't have a smartphone?
It'd be okay because it's SMS. It works over any feature phone because SMS is ubiquitous.
So no smartphone required, no computer required, no printer required?
Correct.
Excellent.
And as you see, I got a message back here telling me to bring my $4.99 payment and the card to the store.
So at that point, again, the card would be presented at the register with cash. The PayNearMe network would communicate with Frog, communicate we've got good funds. So what you've seen here is how we've built this flexible payment system for cash that can not just do transportation, not just do e-commerce, but it does mobile commerce. We're also working with lenders like Progress Financial, who are generating a loan statement on the register receipt. We're working with insurance companies who are generating proof of insurance on the register receipt. In fact, we have a very flexible system. We'd love to use it with anybody who'd like to use it with us, and we'll be outside and welcome the opportunity to work with you. Thank you very much.